here's Brody Brazil.
All right, Lindsay, the president of the Roots and Soul, let me just start with you. The Port of Oakland recently opened the door on Howard Terminal in taking requests for ideas and proposals of what project to do next on those 50-plus acres. And obviously, the Roots and Soul dramatically want to make their presence in Oakland, want to stay in Oakland. This would be a tremendous idea, but was it an easy thing, an easy decision to kind of put your name in this hat?
It was a very easy decision to create a proposal for a stadium at Howard Terminal. Since the founding of our club 5 years ago, our biggest challenge has been finding a game day venue in Oakland. And we have been nomadic. When we are at the Coliseum in 2025, it will be our fifth home in 5 years. And we have searched every square inch of Oakland to find a space that's large enough that would meet the needs for professional soccer in the United States, that our fans can access so that we can build ourselves a permanent home. And Howard Terminal is obviously one of the places in Oakland that is ripe for development for a game day venue. So when the port announced a call for proposals, we quickly went into action to put together our proposal, and we're very excited to have submitted it.
Well, the renderings get me all sorts of different ways, like excited, a little bit, sentimental about what had previously been pitched at that location. Lydia, let me ask you this. As the chief real estate officer here for the Roots and Soul, those are some amazing visuals, the renderings. Is there more than that, though, to this plan? Is there some actual logistics and numbers? And how much deeper does it go than what we're not seeing so far here?
Yeah, well, we thought really hard about this, and you're right. It's the vision, it's the life goal to get to the renderings that you saw. We spent a lot of time with HOK at our Malibu site to really get to understand how we want to operate as an organization, and that really helped inform our proposal for Howard Terminal, and it actually helped us, get up to speed very, very quickly. So our proposal is actually a two-stage proposal. So our phase one proposal would be a modular stadium, very similar in some ways to the Malibu site, but bigger, a 15,000 capacity stadium, which we think is right size for us right now as a team. But as we grow and we have, ambitious goals about growing, then the renderings that you see would be our phase two, 25,000 capacity stadium. So that's the goal. There are some logistical issues with the site, which are known to anybody who's been following the Howard Terminal saga. I would say we have put in a proposal that tries to address a lot of those issues. We've had some very positive, productive conversations with a lot of the port stakeholders who had concerns about the Howard Terminal proposal that the A's had put forward. And so I think there's a path here, but it will take a lot of work with all of us if this goes forward to make sure that everybody, logistically, that it works for everybody.
Lindsay, what's the biggest obstacle here? Is it maybe the cost? And I do want to get to how this would be paid for in a second. Is there some politics to it? How about like an EIR? But the EIR has already been done, so maybe some area has been cleared for this site to move forward. And obviously the port put out the request for ideas and such. What do you see being maybe some challenges and some hurdles in actually getting this to be a reality?
You're right. There are many challenges to any large real estate proposal, especially in the Bay Area where things are quite expensive. But if we can prove that our fans can support a stadium of this size, then I have absolute faith that it will come together. We just need to show that there are people in Oakland and the East Bay that want soccer, want pro sports in our community. And if folks come out for that, then the path will make itself.
So let me do the math here. Like, you all are playing your first season at a proper stadium now in quite some time. You'll be at the Coliseum, which I know is superimposed behind you right now. So what you're saying is, hypothetically, if you were to get a nice attendance showing every single match out there, it just greases the wheels for everything else to say, look, this is who we are, this is what we do. It just makes the decisions and the process easier. Is that kind of it? Like, you just need to have a really good season this year.
That's exactly right. Because where the fans go, money and politics and permits, that will all follow. But it's really all about the fans making it clear that there is demand for pro sports in Oakland and the East Bay.
Lydia, going back to the two-phase plan, now is some of that because it's just easier to get into Howard Terminal if you do it smaller scale first? That was a big criticism of what the A's were trying to do, was build a ballpark and 3 hotels and another entertainment venue and 10 other things at once. Is part of it that you want to start small just to get your foot in the door on that land, on that property?
Well, we just think the phase 1 proposal is right size for us as a team right now.
Okay.
And as Lindsay mentioned, if we kick it out of the park in 25 and we can justify a bigger stadium for phase 1, we would certainly take a look at that. But we think it's the right size right now for us as a team. But at the same time, I think whether it's 15,000 or 25,000, a lot of the issues are going to be the same.
I'm just looking at, Lindsay, different sizes of like USL venues. It seems like if you were to ultimately have a 25,000 seat stadium on the waterfront, right north of Jack London Square, that might be for more of like an MLS team. I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but does some of that kind of go together with just overall growth of where the Roots and Soul might eventually go?
The sky's the limit for this club. We want to be a global brand. We want to be the biggest sports team in the East Bay. And what league we play in is not the primary concern of ours. We just want to be true to our purpose. We want to harness the magic of Oakland and the power of sports as a force for social good. And we'll take that down any avenue that it leads us. All
right. Well, Lindsay, one more for you here. Well, a couple more, but this one right back at you. And this is a big one. This is the multi-million-dollar question, maybe more. Who pays for the stadium? How does that happen?
Yeah, we plan to principally pay for the stadium through private sources of equity and debt. There are some infrastructural things that may be eligible for public funding at the site, but largely it would be privately funded.
Well, and maybe, Lydia, you might know even more about this, but a lot of the infrastructure surrounding Howard Terminal, weren't all those state and federal grants, like that's already been approved for this site because of the legwork and the groundwork that the city of Oakland and in some capacity that the A's had previously done. So isn't there a benefit for whoever does anything at this site that a lot of that's going to get taken care of?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the city has done a great job of tapping into state and federal funds. A lot of those projects are going to benefit all of downtown and the waterfront, whether or not there's a stadium. And a lot of those projects are underway as well. And it absolutely opens the door for us to be able to succeed at Howard Terminal.
And Lindsay, I know you mentioned this before, but this is not a situation where the Roots and Soul are taking a huge shot, a huge swing at the sky, and if they miss, this is trouble. The point is that you're still also pursuing the Malibu site, is that correct? At the very same time, and maybe staying at the Coliseum longer at the very same time as we're talking about Howard Terminal, just in case?
We're pursuing a variety of paths forward. In 2025, we'll be at the Coliseum. We would love to find a way to extend our stay at the Coliseum and go right into a permanent home like at Howard Terminal or a purpose-built stadium within the Coliseum footprint. So right now we're focused on 2025 while keeping our options open for these other avenues and would love to be able to get to a permanent home that's purpose-built for soccer in Oakland as soon as possible.
What is the latest on the Malibu site? It just feels like as soon as the Coliseum opened as an option, why wouldn't you jump into that? Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Is it still full steam ahead and trying to push for the Malibu site, or now does the Howard Terminal thing, are there too many different directions going on here at once, or is there one that's more of the primary focus?
Well, now that we're at the Coliseum, I think what we'd love to do is stay at the Coliseum.
A couple more years, at least a couple more years, right?
Yeah, okay. It's already there.
Right.
We've installed a beautiful grass soccer pitch, which you can partially see behind me. It is a fantastic place for us to play soccer, and not to mention a historic venue that has been home to so many iconic events. So ideally, we would be able to stay at the Coliseum, but we are in a situation where we need to keep a lot of options open, and so we're doing that as well.
What are some of the amenities and plans you have? And I know you've been bringing through season ticket holders and different respective media entities and giving them the tour. I've been a little busy lately. I apologize. I would love to see what's going on out there. Can you explain, though, to everybody watching what you're doing to make the Coliseum your own this upcoming season?
Absolutely. Well, for starters, we've installed a soccer pitch, so it is now dedicated to soccer. We will have our fans in an L shape around the sideline and one end line of the field. Our capacity per game will be approximately 15,000. I'm very proud to say that we are offering this year some of the cheapest season tickets we have ever offered. And then we are also offering some premium amenities. We're able to have a club that we're calling Club Oak that is inclusive of food and beverage and parking, a great space for networking with other businesses, entertaining clients, rewarding employees for a job well done. We will also have some field boxes along the east side of the field, which will be right next to our player benches. And then we have a huge grandstand with tickets available at a really wide range of price points for hopefully appealing to as wide a range of the population in our community as possible. And of course, we'll also have our Deep Roots section that will keep the beat and the chanting and the cheering going for the season.
That's awesome. It's a proper platform, for your team, and you've moved around, like you said, for different venues for different reasons. And I'm glad that now there's some stability, and hopefully it's the bridge to what's next. I also want to bring up, and maybe this is more of a Lydia thing, the old Raiders training facility, technically in Alameda, but Oakland adjacent, very much still an Oakland thing. You have all been approved to buy it, or where does that stand at the very latest? I know you've been using it, but where is it right now?
We have been using it, and we are working on extending our lease for 2025. And the city council just recently unanimously approved transitioning from the Prologis as the buyer to the Oakland Roots and Soul as the buyer. So we are locked and loaded. We are looking for a partner right now to co-purchase the facility with us, and we were really excited about that.
It just seems like as much as a home field and stadium is a big deal, having your practice and training facility, and I assume offices go there too, that also feels like a very important home to lock down and to really root yourself, right?
Yeah, it's really critical. You're right. The training facility and the game day venue are both critical to making sure the Roots and the Soul thrive.
Who would you want to partner with? I know you said you want to take on a partner for that purchase. Is there an optimal type of partner?
Well, we'd love a partner who's aligned with our trying to be there in the long term, for long term. So we'll see. We've got a lot of we're having a lot of conversations, and I'm really, really encouraged with the conversations we're having.
That's great, Lindsay. Last one for you. I'm excited about this. When I saw the renderings, and I kind of had an idea that maybe the Roots and Soul might be part of pitching when that option even came out. So I'm very excited about this. Should I be? Is the Howard Terminal thing just a random long shot idea right now? Is this tangible? Are you feeling it? How does it go from here, basically?
Well, it starts by having a successful 2025 and figuring out our home for the near term after that. But it is absolutely within our grasp to build a permanent stadium in Oakland, whether that's at Howard Terminal or the Coliseum or another site. And so, we've got to make sure that we're successful in the near term. That means bringing fans out, making sure everybody gets their season tickets, which are on sale now. And that's how we show sports teams that we want them to stick around, is by becoming season ticket members. And if you can't use your tickets for a game, give them to a friend or family member to introduce the club to your community. So we hope we'll see people out this next season at the Coliseum, and that'll make it easier for us to get to Howard Terminal or another spot with a permanent stadium as soon as possible.
But I mean, if it all worked out and, the port says yes and respective parties say yes, like the Roots and Soul, they're ready to do this if everybody else is?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And you all know how I feel. I mean, that site is very sentimental, has become to a lot of people at Howard Terminal. I think there are so many opportunities to activate Jack London Square like never before with an entertainment venue. I'd also assume like you wouldn't just use it for soccer, right? This could be a year, as much as a baseball stadium was going to be a year-round thing there. You all would use it as a year-round venue, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we think this is a really great way to anchor the west end of Jack London Square.
Yeah.
And we think it'll bring lots of visitors into the area that wouldn't otherwise be there. We're really excited about the opportunity.
Well, it's too good to not be excited about. It's too good not to talk about, and that's why I wanted to bring both of you on. So, Lindsay and Lydia, I really appreciate the time. I obviously wish you the best of luck. I will see you at the Coliseum this upcoming season and hope it all goes great.
Thank you very much.